If you can't kill a boss, no reason why you can't look like one. Moogle putting the wow in transmogs.
Incidentally, I have this set, this exact set. Not a thing has changed on my Hunter as we speak. Now, if you're wondering why you're not seeing a belt, well, for some reason, that's an Alliance-only belt, and it just didn't show up on the Horde. Sometimes that happens, sometimes it doesn't. It tends to happen with BFA type of pieces, because the fact is, the chest piece, the legs, and the gloves are also Alliance only, but they show up on the Horde tune, but yet the belt does not, because it's from BFA. Love the gun. I think the gun ties this set in absolutely perfectly. But hey, I'm not only an admiration of these sets, but I'm also a client or a participant because I'm wearing this set. And sometimes, honestly, I do produce sets that I don't like because I understand that transmogs are 100% subjective, and I think maybe somebody would like this. The tabard here is a Gilnean tabard, so if you're on the Horde side, you obviously can't wear it, so you'd have to make a substitute. And there's a lot of tabards that are kind of blue and gold that you can substitute, but I think this one works best for any given Alliance Hunter. I don't know the Horde tabards as well as I know the Alliance ones, so there might be something that's blue and gold, but you could make the substitute, obviously, if you want. Otherwise, everything else should fit just perfectly fine. And if you're noticing a new format, we're going to get into that in the next segment because there are a few different things in the first two sets that I wanted to point out. But the links are in the description, so you could go to Wowhead and view each piece, and you could view whatever gender or whatever race you want with the basic click. We're going to get into that in the next segment, but I wanted to point out some specifics here. Yes, I did change the format, and I want to point out why. Mutual benefit to myself and you chemo zombies out there, in other words, the viewers. By not posting the details of 9 different pieces from 6 different xmogs, which can be a bit redundant, especially when it comes to the voiceover, and as well, it could be boring. But by not doing that, I save myself 1 hour production time. As far as viewers go, you receive 10 xmogs in a segment where you used to receive 6, but there's more benefit to you. Linked in the description, you will find a Wowhead dressing room file for each xmog set. You can now make a switch on the race or the gender. You can change the details, you could look things up more readily, and you can make changes and you could view them, and you could link it in the description what you change or any other xmog you have, and others can see it. By the way, the previous set I think is one of the best sets I've ever done. It fires on all cylinders. It's unique. It fits the class fantasy, and I think it's a great set. Another benefit, which I can't mention because I only got like 1 minute to talk, and I'm the kind of thing that can take something small and bring it into a lot of copy or a lot of things to say, as opposed to taking things that are a lot of things to say and breaking it down into a couple of sentences. But the reality is now you can go to Wowhead, you can change the gender, you can change the race, you can change a piece or two, you could take that favorite set that you made back in WoD, back in MOP, back in Legion, and you can put it together in that Wowhead format in the file, and you could save it and link it in this video. And if I share your enthusiasm, give you a shout out and produce a set. Sure, I might change a piece or two, but the reality is still your idea. You have blue, you have green, you have brown, and I think all these colors perfectly represent any given hunter. We have pieces from MOP, we have a few pieces here from Shadowlands. We even have a couple of pieces from Warlords of Draenor, the fun. And one thing I want people to let me know, because I could be wrong, I think at some point, I don't remember when, it might have been during Legion, it might have been during WoD, Blizzard said that you could xmog the engineering goggles, whatever you want to call them, the headpieces, on other tunes, even if you're not an engineer. So you can't have the on-use thing or the stats of them, but you can xmog them on other tunes as long as the armor class is appropriate. I remember seeing that. I don't remember exactly when. It was within the last few years. Can someone confirm this for me? That would be great, because after what recently happened, I don't take Wowhead and or Icy Veins as the Bible anymore. The Hair Club for Men used to say, I'm not only an endorser, I'm a client. And I say that here with this particular xmog set, because I have the same exact set for my Hunter. I had been wearing it for a while, but I changed it to the first set in this video. So yes, I'm not only an admirer, but I'm also a client, or also actual user. This is a pretty easy set to get, and we have good representation from Cata, from Shadowlands, from Legion, and I think it works really well for hunters. I think it's a really cool looking set. You got that brownish burgundy and the green popping out. Overall, I'm a client. I'm a user. This kind of fits something unique. This kind of fits the class fantasy, and it looks good on a lot of races. I mean, sometimes I purposely show something that looks really good on a race, or sometimes I say, hey, look how bad this is. Avoid this. So yeah, I'm just trying to be fair. I personally do like red for hunters, but I know a lot of people out there don't. This set I think is really, really cool. And it's representative of a few different xpacs here. We have a little bit of WoD, quite a bit of Shadowlands, and I do believe those shoulders are from the Burning Crusade. And the bow is kind of blah, I'll admit that, but as far as the texture and the coloring, it works perfect with this set. So sometimes I'm not always looking for something to snap out at you, but I want something to fit the overall theme, the overall texture, the overall coloring. And in this case, this bow most definitely does accomplish that, because we have the snap, we have the sizzle in other pieces, so we don't have to have it in every piece. And sometimes when you don't try to overstate it, things stand out more in any given transmog, whether you're shooting for a class fantasy look or something unique. I think that's my philosophy. There's a lot of older pieces in this set. Basically, we're talking World War, but there's some new pieces here too. We have some pieces from Legion. We have some things from Shadowlands. The bow happens to be from Wrath of the Lich King. And of course, the headpiece is an engineering-based piece. And so far, I think 2 for 2 here on the races and the genders as far as how this looks. I really like the sets in World War. World War is always something worth doing for transmogs. There are certain raids, in my opinion, aren't that great for transmog farming. Most of those are, I really just hate the gear. The look of the gear, because Blizzard went with the theme rather than the actual look. And they did it again here in Shadowlands, but I like the Shadowlands theme a lot more than I liked the BFA theme. I don't like the BFA gear. Every time I'm putting together a set, I just kind of skip over the BFA gear. Sure, there are exceptions, but overall, I don't like BFA gear. If you stop by here for transmog videos before, you might think this set looks familiar, and you're right. I did change a few things though. You have to understand, for me to come up with 6 transmogs, sometimes I could do it in an hour, sometimes it takes a week. It all depends. To come up with 10, it's going to be a lot harder. So yeah, we got to grin and bear a few duplicates or revisits or repeats with some changes in the beginning, just so we could get stuff out and we could have people review it. Because once people start giving me links with their ideas, or take this set for instance and maybe change the bow or change the headpiece or the shoulders or the belt or a few pieces and link it in and then do something, then we'll have more sets coming in and we'll be able to do more videos. And as I said, it's quicker and easier for me to produce these, so it's kind of a win-win for everyone. But when you talk in green, it works for Hunter, especially with the green and gray here. I'm a fan of this one. What I'm about to say might sound strange. Actually, it does sound strange. I'm not a big fan of this set. Why do I even showcase it then? Well, Luxeley, if you don't like the set, why are you showcasing it? That's a great question. It's a totally reasonable question. Because I do realize, I mean, I don't hate the set, but I'm not like, wow, something doesn't snap. Something doesn't stand out with this set. And the reason I do this, obviously, I got to make 10 sets now instead of 6. So that's part of it. But a bigger part of it is I do realize transmogs are very, very subjective. And not everybody is looking to accomplish the same thing. Some people want to play the class fantasy. Some want to have something that stands out and is unique. Others just want something to work as far as coloring, textures, etc. Some prefer higher definition on the gear, in other words, the latter xpacs. And some are hunters who want to look like shaman. That's just the reality of it. My name is Luxeley, and I want to thank you for giving me that click and a like. And I'll leave you with this final thought. Whatever it is by you, whether it's morning or it's afternoon or night, make your day completely, utterly choose to make it epic.